Hey everyone, it's Vicki Williams, Tennessee State Broker at Epic Realty. It's Let's Level Up Friday, where I am interviewing top producing power agents at Epic Realty or team leaders across the country. And this week we have someone from Florida here, my home state of Florida, MJ Sanzari. Sanzari? Please help me.
Sanzari. Yep.
Sanzari, I got it right the first time. Who's originally from New Jersey and now down in South Florida. And she is a true rock star because she has built her business around commercial, investors, luxury. Like she's taken it to the next level, which is what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to level up our business at Epic, right? Or wherever we are, whoever's watching this video. So, MJ, thank you so much for your time today
Of
and for
course.
agreeing to let me pick your brain and share your secret sauce with everyone. And I am going to record this. I do ask that if you have any questions for MJ, put them in the chat or save them for the end of the call, and then we can maybe get her to dive a little bit deeper on there's something if there's something that you want more on. But it's going to be kind of a quick fire question and answer. We're going to get right into it. So, with that, MJ, for those who don't know you yet, can you share just a short version about you and your journey, how you went from working in your family's development company in New Jersey to selling commercial luxury in Florida? How did that happen?
So I basically grew up in a real estate development company that my grandfather created 85, 90 years ago. My childhood vocabulary included words like construction, ROI. Everyone else was playing house. I was calculating cap rates, which is probably why my math skills were always so strong. Um, you know, I worked there for quite a while. And I learned all aspects of the business. I learned the commercial aspect, I learned the residential, the accounting aspect, the property management aspect. So I got through all of those, different departments, which was awesome. And as I got older and as my kids got older, my kids were baseball players. And the thing is that coming to Florida allowed them to play baseball all year. It allowed me to never have to shovel snow again. So basically, we packed it up. We headed to Florida. I stepped into a market where sunshine is opportunity, right? Um, what I realized was that commercial and luxury were just not new lanes for me. They were the lanes I was already built for. It's what I've done my whole life. I had the knowledge, I had the background, negotiation instincts instantly. So Florida just gave me a really great market to create all that in. So I was really happy again coming down here.
Lots of sunshine. And tell everybody exactly where you are in Florida. Boca?
I'm in Boca Raton, yeah, so
Yeah.
Southeast Florida.
Southeast Florida. Okay. And so you mentioned commercial, and I see as the broker for Tennessee, so many residential agents that really want to kind of dip their toe in the commercial world. They're curious about it, but they may feel intimidated by it. And you mentioned a term I had never heard before when we spoke earlier this week, resimercial. You're a resimercial agent. So, how do you define the difference between a residential mindset and a commercial mindset? And what has to shift for agents who want to start to make that transition?
I am going to agree with you. Commercial is very overwhelming for a lot of residential agents. For me, it was a little bit simpler because I grew up in the industry. I grew up doing it. So for me, it was like speaking English, right? So it was very simple for me to transfer. What I really did with the Resimercial Agent, which is actually also a program that I created, was I basically took all the steps that I had went through and I documented them. And I have them into little itty bitty lessons so that it's not overwhelming for a residential agent. The biggest difference I'm going to say is that residential is emotional, commercial is decisive, right? Commercial is very fact-based. Residential clients fall in love with paint colors, they fall in love with dining rooms. Commercial clients fall in love with profit margins and cap rates. Agents who want to make the transition really need to kind of take a step back and say, okay, I'm not going to let the commercial world overwhelm me. It's numbers, it's strategy. Most of all, it's confidence more than anything else. It's not, your mindset has to change from that. Okay, let's look at the way this floor plan is to how am I going to be able to create a value adds for my clients so that they can make, 33% more next year.
Great tips, great advice. Yes, it is a totally different approach. It's a totally different skill set, and I love that you're putting together a training that I think you're going to share with Epic agents, if I remember you telling me right, on how to start dipping your toes in that commercial water. And I love that you're doing that. So many people want to start expanding what they're doing already. And if a full jump into commercial feels too big, for example, what are a few very simple steps a residential agent could take maybe in the next 30 days without feeling like they're abandoning their current business?
So there's a few things, okay? The one thing I will tell you is that to learn commercial, there's no book out there. I can't say to you, hey, pick up this book, pick up that book, because commercial is a very hands-on experience. It's very, it's zero drama. Residential real estate is a lot of drama sometimes. And, like I said, with commercial, it's fact-based, right? It's numbers. If the numbers aren't there, the deal's not good. It's very simple. So the couple things that you guys can do is basically just kind of go through commercial listings and start speaking the language, right? Understanding the language that we speak, ROI, NOI, cap rates, stuff like that, right? But what I want you to remember is you don't have to be an expert to say, hey, yes, I help investors explore commercial opportunities. Okay. You can start there. When you're speaking to your clients, that is always something great to bring up because now you're bringing more value to your clients than you were before, even if you never do a commercial deal ever. Okay. To be able to present that to your residential clients just gives you a skill set, like a step up in skill set, right? Because now they're like, oh my God, my residential agent can do commercial. And, I was kind of thinking about opening up a store next year, but I'm not 100% sure, right? You start the conversation. When you start the conversation, you know, at that point, you can find yourself a mentor and basically step into the water because it's not as hard as you think it is, right? Get in the room. You have to get in the room because if you don't get in the room, what good is that, right? Try to attend one commercial focused event, right? Try to shadow one commercial agent. There's a bunch of commercial agents at Epic right now, me as well. And I don't know if anyone here is from outside of Epic, but I also have people that I mentor outside of Epic as well. Um, when you come across an investor, ask what they're looking for next. Exposure is the fastest cure for intimidation, okay? Because that's what a lot of agents are going to feel. They're going to feel intimidated. The best thing you could do is overcome that because confidence is going to be key here, okay? Leverage your database. I can guarantee you in your database, you probably have 15% of your residential clients are involved in commercial in one way or another, literally. Um, yeah, so that's really how I would start. When you shift the
Nothing else.
conversation, yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Have the conversation, and if nothing else, refer. You can earn a great referral business off referring commercial if you don't want to do it yourself,
A hundred percent.
but be able to communicate that you are capable of assisting someone with commercial in some aspect, right, MJ?
That's absolutely right. Hold on, hold
And
on.
don't worry, you guys, this call is not all about commercial. If you're sitting here listening so far going, oh, I didn't want to learn anything about commercial, we're going to get into some other really good stuff because MJ is a boss. And so she's given us a lot of great ideas. So we also talk about niching down, and I just did a niche class not too long ago about scratch your niche, it'll make you rich, and about how niching is really kind of important in real estate. Your niche is 1031 exchanges, for example. That's something you really specialize in. You advertise that that's your specialty so that you can attract the right clients to what you enjoy doing. How important, MJ, is for people who don't have a niche to start thinking like that?
So I'm niched out in both commercial and residential, right? And as you said, my niche is 1031 exchanges on the commercial end. Um, Basically niches are your superpower, right? It's your signature. It's the thing that make people say, you need to talk to MJ. She's the right person to help you with that, right? It puts me in rooms where real money moves. I love 1031 exchanges because they're super challenging, right? They're very tight on timelines. If you're literally 3 seconds late with paperwork to be handed in, you could lose hundreds of thousands of dollars for your clients in tax benefits. It gets pretty crazy, right? Um, you become memorable by being exceptional in one lane. And that's the thing I think a lot of agents don't understand is that if you don't niche yourself out, then you're going to be spreading yourself too thin. It's like the best thing I can say is, you're the jack of all trades, master of none, right? That is so true. So in the commercial industry, my specialty is 1031s, and in the residential, it is luxury real estate, right? So I really focus on those two things. All the training that I do, all the continuing education I do revolves around those two niches.
Great advice. Listen, guys, MJ's been doing this a long time. She's a power agent. She's a multi-million-dollar producer. And she is giving you some great nuggets today. I hope that you're writing them down. You're going to really implement this into your business plan for 2026 so that your business levels up to the next level. You don't want to stay plateaued in real estate. You always want to be leveling up. Okay. We talked about marketing a couple of days ago, and you've said you're really big on organic marketing and quality leads over chasing everything that moves. That is so important too. What does organic marketing look like in your world?
So it really is the art of being so consistently valuable to people that people are coming to you and it's not the other way around, right? It's expertise, it's confidence, it's presence, it's positioning. Gimmicks, cold DMs, begging the algorithm for crumbs, that's not what it is, right? It's more about education that actually teaches something, being visible without being desperate is a big one, right? Because a lot of times when you're running low on funds, people they get into a desperate situation. And that is something that other people feel, So you always have to and it's so hard to do. You always have to keep your spirits up, your energy up, and stuff like that. You want to show up as an advisor, not a salesperson. I cannot even tell you how many times I see people, especially, agents come in and say, and try to do push the sales tactic. Don't do that, right? When your brand is magnetic, you stop hunting and you start attracting. And that's a big thing. And we're going to go into that in a little bit too about your branding. Your branding is so important.
Agree. Agreed. I love that. Being that magnet and having that mindset that I'm a magnet for the people that I'm meant to work with. It's a mind shift. It's so freeing, right?
That
I love your energy, by the way, MJ. When you talk about energy, confidence, you exude it. So you are really like an example of how I want to show up in rooms. So thank you for being here today. I
too.
sincerely mean that. Okay. You've also said to me that networking is a huge part of your business. For agents that particularly don't like networking events and maybe they feel awkward, what are a couple of specific ways they could build relationships that actually turn into deals?
So networking, and I don't know if you remember, but I said specific networking, right? So
Yeah.
I networking events to me are glorified business card swaps, right? With bad appetizers. That's not what I'm talking about. Like you're not missing anything at those events. Nothing. I trust me when I tell you, right? This is what works. Okay. This is in the luxury market. This is in the residential, even the regular residential market and the commercial industry. Okay. You have to curate your own circle. And what I mean by that is find yourself your professional circle, right? You want to find yourself some accountants, a couple of attorneys, a couple, some of your niche may be divorce, right? You want to find yourself a couple of divorce attorneys. You want to find yourself financial advisors. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. Property managers. I can't even tell you how big property managers are to you. Okay. Invite a handful of those high value people to coffee or a private conversation, right? Small gatherings build huge trust. You need to become the connector. When you become the connector, that's where your value starts to show. Okay. Power players remember the person who introduced them to other power players, and you want to be that person for them. Okay. Um, show up where opportunity exists. That's the biggest thing, right? It's not where the free wine is. It's going to be in places. It's going to be at conventions, at real estate conventions. It's going to be at investor conventions. It's going to be at, maybe even a happy hour at a high-end bar, right? Don't make it so formal for yourself. Make it so that you can have fun with it as well. And one idea that I had brought up to Vicky as well, was that it's a great thing also if you have some time to sit in Starbucks for a couple of hours. Okay. Starbucks has Wi-Fi. You can work there. You can do whatever you need there. Take $50 and give it to the barista in the beginning and say, I want to buy the next 10 people a cup of coffee, right? When you do that, you have your laptop up and, hopefully something about real estate is on your laptop cover so that somebody can see that. And when the barista tells them that you're the one that bought them the cup of coffee, somebody will come over to you and they will thank you. Most of them will. I don't want to say all of them will. Most of them will. They'll come over and they'll thank you. And then it starts a conversation. I don't want you to go right into real estate. What I want you to do is I want you to talk to them about the community. Okay. I want you to say to them, I am, I would love to get more involved in the community. What do you do here? Okay. Find out what they do. Figure out a way to make a connection with them, whether it's, hey, I really want to get more involved. How can I connect with you in the future so that we can share ideas? And that is where you get their information. And now they become part of your circle. Okay. It is the best $50 you will spend, whether you decide to do it once a week, once a month, once a quarter, whatever it is. But it's a really great thing for you guys to try to, head up and do.
This nugget literally gave me goosebumps a couple of days ago. And I told MJ this. I said, I've interviewed a lot of top producing agents and I've never heard this tip before. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Would you rather spend $50 on cold leads that you have to chase or $50 and get some warm connections that you can put in your database immediately and start building relationships? Because again, this is a relationship business and MJ has found a way to get organic relationships out of such a cheap amount of investment dollars, right? I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with all of us.
Of course.
And I love it that you say, yeah, don't just go to any and every networking event, right? Waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy. Get in the right rooms with the right people that you can help and be that connector, be
Yeah.
that person. I love it. Gosh, this is like so obvious why she is a power agent. Like I'm learning so much today. Okay. So you've led teams. And now you're stepping more into a coaching role, which I think is you're going to add so much value to our agents coaching them. You have ideas like the residential to commercial, but also something called a commission catalyst thing that you're working on. From what you've seen, though, what are the 2 to 3 habits that separate the agents who stay stuck from the agents that break through?
The biggest thing I'm going to tell you is consistency. So many people have no idea what it takes to be consistent. Okay. Breakthrough agents, they wake up, they work the plan, whether they feel like it or not, right? You have to stick with a schedule. And, it's like going to the gym. That's the best example I can give because it happens to a lot of people. You wake up in the morning, you had a long night, or, you went out the night before, you didn't get enough sleep, you didn't get a good night's sleep, you don't want to go to the gym. What's the best thing you could do? Get up and go to the gym, right? Or else you're going to fall out of that habit. Take 66 days to form a habit, right? If you miss one of those days, you got to start all over again, right? And it's the same thing with your daily habits, right? Not just the gym, it's with work too. Um, so consistency, you have to maintain your consistency. Um, Upgraded skill sets, right? If you're not learning, you're losing. The market rewards the skilled, not the busy, right? Because you could say you're busy all day long, but if you're not, you could be busy doing nothing. A lot of people are, unfortunately, right? You have to be able to make fast decisions, right? Successful agents move, struggling agents just they stay in the same place, unfortunately. The industry shifts too fast for hesitation, especially nowadays, way too fast.
Great advice, MJ. Thank you so much. And we also talked about, and we're almost done. Then we're going to open up to some Q&A, which I'm excited about. Real estate can be emotionally brutal. Deals fall apart, market shifts, and you're not ready. Life happens. When you personally hit a wall or feel burned out, which doesn't happen often because we talked about that, you're like, gosh, I don't even know if that happens to me. But if it were to, what would you do to reset and get your focus and motivation back? And how can any agent listening today copy that?
So this is really big because what you're feeling, right? I do a lot of mindset motivation stuff with my mentees, and it's real. Some people don't believe in it. Energy is real, guys. Like when I tell you, if your energy is down, the worst thing you can do is try to get on the phone, try to talk to people. Don't do that. And I've been in those moods too, right? So when I get into those moods, I don't push harder. I don't force myself. I pause, I step back, and I unplug. Okay. Then I think about what needs to be recalibrated, right? A lot of time it's just time. I just need time. I'll go get a massage. I'll go sit on the beach for a few hours and read a book. But whatever happens at that point, I will skip the rest of the day, recalibrate, and then come back the next morning. Okay. And again, that formula is simple for me. It's rest, review, realign, and return. It's all the R's, right? 5 R's. So once you get that down, you're not going to outwork the burnout. That's automatic. It's just not going to happen. But you can out strategize it by following those 5 R's. Okay. Agents need to stop glorifying exhaustion because a lot of people will say, well, I was busy all day. I was doing this. I was doing this. I'm so tired because I was doing this, blah, 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 blah. But like I said before, just because you're busy doesn't mean you're accomplishing anything, right? That's where the real breakthrough happens. When you can prioritize clarity and understand what you're doing and where you're falling, that is where you become gold.
So awesome that you said don't power through. We have a tendency to be hard on ourselves and be like, I've got to power through. I've got to power through. I've got to keep going. I got to try harder. I got to work harder. Very rarely do I ever say, I've got to rest. I've got to pull back. I've got to unplug until I burned out. And so, what a great reminder for everyone on this call. Thank you for sharing that pro tip. And then, talking about mentorship, you mentioned mentorship with a commercial. You mentor people as well. But you also told me about the impact of the biggest mentorship in your life, which was your grandfather. What are a couple of lessons or rules did you learn from him that you still use in your business today? And how could a new agent maybe apply some of those principles in their business?
So, yeah, this has been a big time for me, like the last couple of days, because yesterday was his 20-year anniversary of his passing. So it was really hard for me. But he was literally my whole life. Okay. He taught me everything I know. He taught me all about real estate. As I said before, he at 2 years old, he had me on construction sites. I was glued to his hip all the time. And there's three things that he literally burned into my DNA. And these are so important for everybody to understand because these generations now are very different from when, my generation was younger or my grandfather's generation was around. And he always said that if you're going to do something, you have to strive for excellence, not meaning that you're going to get there, but you have to strive for it. Okay. No half effort, no mediocre execution, and excellence is a habit. Once you start getting into the habit of striving for that, you will know nothing different. Okay. And again, you're not going to achieve it every time, but if you make it a point to do it, you will get closer and closer and closer. Okay. And the other thing I do want to tell you is excellence and perfection, right? I had a very big problem with perfection for a long time because I didn't want to do anything until it was perfect. But you know what? Perfection is an intangible measure. You can't, perfection means a different thing to everybody. So it's never achievable because it doesn't exist. I just want you guys to remember that. It's important. Um, Consistency, showing up the same way every time, right? Consistency builds trust, and trust is currency. right? A new agent can apply this today, yesterday, clean up your follow-up, honor your commitments, and present yourself like your business matters. Because if you show up different every single time, people are going to be like, wait, I'm not understanding this. Like, what is it? Is it this or that? Right? And that's where your branding comes in. Super important. When you look at your social media, when you look at your business cards, when you look at your any of your print templates, your listing presentations, your buyer consults, anything like that, you want to maintain consistency throughout. It's very, very important. The most important thing he taught me was integrity, right? Integrity is the base of everything you do. If you don't have integrity and loyalty, you have nothing. And he grew up in a time where a handshake meant something. A handshake now means nothing. People will spit in your face. They don't care. People will try to put money over everything. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. There is nothing more valuable than loyalty and integrity, especially in the real estate business. When your clients see that in you, I can promise you, you have a client for life. For life.
The mic, I would drop it because you are dropping some really good stuff today. I'm just saying, even in the chat box, I'm seeing it. You're really hitting. I think you're hitting things that most people don't think about in real estate. They think about lead generation, prospecting, keeping their pipeline full. But you can do all of that without some of the things that you're touching on today and never have a closing, never build a successful business because without these
100%.
core principal values that you're touching on today, nothing else matters, right?
That's correct.
Love it, lady. Love it. Okay. Let's talk. This isn't on my sheet, but you've talked about branding a couple times. I want you to go just a couple of minutes into branding, and then I've got two more questions. So
Sure.
talk to me a little bit more about branding, MJ.
About what? I'm sorry, branding. Okay.
Branding,
So
branding.
so I'm going to tell you, when I moved to Florida, I got my real estate license. When I was up in New Jersey, I was on the other side of the equation, right? I was the investor. I was the director of operations. I was the landlord, right? So I know that part of the business really well. When I moved to Florida, I picked up the sales part of it, right? And that was a little bit of an adjustment for me because I wasn't in sales up there. But when I came down, I just thought that I wanted people to know me. I wanted people to know who I was, not who Keller Williams was, not who, Illustrated Properties was. So through all of my four brokerages that I was in, I can promise you, you can probably ask any one of my clients. None of my clients knew what brokerage I was with because my branding was so solid that they knew me as me, right? And the thing I want you guys to remember is a lot of people say, I'm going to switch brokerages because that's what my client wants. You know what? Your brokerage is there to assist you. You are there to assist your client. It doesn't go from your client to the brokerage. It never should. It always has to come through you, right? So branding yourself over your brokerage first is where you need to be. And, especially Epic. I know, I don't know who was on the call on Wednesday, but Josh talked about not using the word epic in any of your stuff, right? Because he wants you to be front and center. He wants you to be the one that people recognize, right? So that's really where, and of course, there's legal aspects to that as well. But putting yourself in that line first is what brings people in.
Thank you for expanding on branding. Yes, we think of brand as the logo of the company we work for. That's our brand, but it shouldn't be. It should be you and your personality, your add value, and your strengths. Okay, two more questions. If you were sitting across from an agent who's done a few deals
Mhm.
but feels stuck and unsure how they're going to level up, especially going into a new year, this is a great time for this question. What specific 90-day game plan would you give them? Maybe 3 to 5 concrete actions to either add to their business or start treating their business like a business. Specifically, a 90-day action plan. What would it look like?
So that's going to be really a summary of everything we just spoke about,
Yeah.
right? So the first one is pick a niche and stop being so vague, right? Direction creates momentum. That's the biggest thing, right? You want to build a lead generation routine that's actually sustainable. And I'm not talking about going out and paying for leads every day. There are such strong ways of being able to create organic lead generation without spending a fortune. And that's what my other program takes care of. The Commission Catalyst teaches people how to lead generate organically with either little money or no money, right?
Or
So
other
that's what that
people's
teaches you.
money or OPP.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So that's the second thing. It's not when you feel like it. You have to do it daily. You have to time manage yourself to make sure that you're spending, a certain amount of time lead generating. Um, Upgrade your brand, right? Upgrade your brand. Make sure that it's consistent. Your look, your message, your presence. You want to make sure you're consistent throughout all your social media platforms and all your print. Um, Add one high skill to your book every 90 days, okay? It doesn't have to be huge. It can be small, right? Um, Commercial basics. Say to yourself that you want to understand what the commercial vocabulary is. Take 90 days and understand it. Say that you want to learn luxury real estate. Take 90 days and just either follow a couple of luxury agents, see what they do, see how the outcome is, um, and you'll be surprised at how much you pick up at that point. But choose something that moves you, where you can be consistent about it, because that's going to be the most important thing. Audit your
And
time
then,
like a CEO. Okay, cut the
yes.
nonsense, protect the activities, create activities that this is the one thing I tell everybody I speak to. Okay, forget the activities that are not generating a return, right? I have agents that were going to like 6 networking events a week to connect with other agents. What do you think that's going to do for you? Not putting money in your pocket. That I can promise you. Okay. So make sure that you focus your activities around revenue. That's going to be the best thing for you. Stuck disappears when structure shows up.
And it's so funny because your broker and I were talking this morning, Brian Duran, one of your brokers, and I
Mhm.
were on a call this morning, and I'm just going to spell this out. I think he's on this call right now. Brian said he's getting very protective of his time. And that's one of his goals is to really focus on, is this time that I'm about to invest in this activity worth it? Either is it building an income or building a relationship or building something for me and my family? And if not, I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
Right?
That's exactly right. I mean, listen, there are going to be activities that you have to do that are not revenue generating, but you have to limit them. Like I said, if you want to go to one networking event and network with other agents a month, then so be it. You know what? Go to that lunch, learn a couple of things, listen to a title agency talk about whatever they're talking about, right? But just don't make it a habit. That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing I can say.
Yeah. Great advice. And then lastly, MJ, I want to know what your next level up move looks like. Anything specific you have going on in the next couple of years that you want to share with us?
So, I'm in a good place in my business. I'm in a good place. I have really been able to get my business down pat where I would like to share with people and, you know, basically scale and impact. That's what my future looks like right now. I'm building out the residential agent that should be up and running in the next couple of weeks. I have the commission catalyst that is going to be up and running literally probably by the end of next week. I'm hoping that's the lead gen program. So I just want more agents to be able to break out of survival mode and step into like strategic scalable income. Because that's the other thing. Like there's so many people that are so content being in a small space, they don't realize what they can gain by just a tiny move, right? Um, I would love to start doing nationwide education. My mission really is very simple, right? It's more helping agents transform their businesses and just leading from the front for me. I want to show them that it is not easy, but it is simple with the right plan in place. That's really all, that's the gist of what I'm going to be doing.
That. And I'm excited for you. I hope that we're going to see you on Epic Essentials or the Power Academy, just doing some big things in the next couple of years and helping our agents. I can tell it's a passion of yours and it's a passion of mine too. Like I love helping agents grow and spread their wings and leap off the cliff and just like, hey, you're going to fly, you're going to soar, it's going to be okay. Stop playing small and do what you can do. Like trust yourself, right?
Right.
Love it. Love it. Okay, I want to open it up to some Q&A or to some comments or feedback or whatever you have for MJ while we have her time for the next few minutes. So who wants to say something or ask a question?
I just want to say, dang, you, you were powerful. Are you this system that you're building? Is that, how are you going to get that out to the agents? Like, is it just for
The
your team?
commission catalyst, like is it going to be a program they can buy into or is it going to be a free program? Like tell us more about the commission catalyst.
So Commission Catalyst is going to be a paid program. It's going to be basically like a one-time fee for a year, and then you could renew it after that. The resident commercial agent is going to be that's a power program that's going to be done through Rob Stein's, the power coaching program. I am a power coach at this point. So that oh my God, program. I'm totally like that for a second. That program's going to be through that, through
Just the
that
commercial
platform.
one is through Rob or
It's
both?
going to be through the Power platform and then the Commission Catalyst on the outside.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So if someone wants more information about the commission catalyst, could they just email you at mjsanzari at epicrealty.com or
Um,
epic.me at epic.me?
yeah, epic.me is perfect. Or at 561luxury.com. That's my email. But right now, yeah, epic.me is probably the easiest.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Awesome. And it's a 1 year plan that they can renew if they want to, but you do pay for a year up front.
Yeah.
So be committed. But hey, listen, if you got something out of value out of the 35 minutes she spoke, imagine what you could get out of a year of being in her program, right? So think about it. Think about it for sure. All right. Who else has a question or comment or feedback they want to share? What was your big nugget takeaway today? Hey, Maggie.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you guys?
Welcome
Hi.
to the call. Hi.
Thanks. I just wanted to say again, wow, dang. I just hopped on. I've been really focusing on social media and lead genning that way. Um, and gosh, just through the day to day of being in real estate, you kind of do your thing and you forget. And so these calls are so important. And I took notes on everything. So I'm gonna just use it to really take my social media to the next level, especially with branding and consistency and getting a group of people who fit my niche. I think that is the most important because
What
my
is your
niche is
niche, Maggie? What's your niche?
Mine's relocation.
Okay.
So I moved to Florida from Kansas. I'm helping other people do the same. I actually get a ton of business off TikTok. Um,
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, so I'm helping like 4 or 5 people right now move from other states, but I could take that to the next level. So this really inspired me. Like I should have a property manager who are people who want second homes. And that's like the first thing. I'm going on Facebook right now looking for people and seeing where I can meet them and make that connection.
That's
Building your
amazing.
network will build your net worth.
I
Hmm.
also want to give out a shout out to Maggie. I know her because she's in Pensacola, so she's a neighbor to me, but she holds some dang good events too. You are an event
Oh,
geek.
thank you.
She's good. So
Thank
I
you so
think that's
Awesome.
much.
also your niche, Maggie.
Yeah, I do a lot of it. I'm actually working on one right now, funny enough. So, but
So
yeah, it
great
was
takeaway. So
amazing.
you're going to build your network around your niche, expand and level up. All right. I love
Yes.
it. I love it. Thank you for being here and getting those nuggets today.
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you guys for having me.
Anybody else?
How do you find your niche? Like, let's say you've just done several deals all over the map from, inherited homes to, you know, Rios. Like, I don't, I think that's where I'm kind of stuck myself.
So what, before you were in real estate, what was your background?
I was a teacher.
Okay. What is your passion? Where does your passion stem from?
I mean, I do like educating people on the whole process and like helping, those families who lost a loved one and don't know where to turn because that loved one didn't have plans mapped out. So, I have held a couple of estate planning seminars and stuff.
Okay.
I really do like it, and I've been trying to get in touch with probate stuff, but it's just like it's just really hard because I am dual career still.
Okay.
So,
So here's what I'm gonna tell you. So first of all, you would probably be an excellent first-time home buyer specialist. Number one, most teachers are. Okay. It was never something I was good at. I'm not, my energy is too high for it. I've always referred first-time home buyers out. Um, when it comes to probate, what you want to do is you want to partner with a financial advisor. Okay. And what you want to do is when you close your deals, you want to, at the 1 year anniversary of your client, you want to send them a letter and say, hey, I have partnered with this amazing financial advisor. She would love to, on me, she's going to give you or he's going to give you a free consultation. Okay. And at that point, what you want them to do is they're going to go in and they're going to talk to them about their estate planning. They're going to talk to them about creating a will. They're going to talk to them about making it easier for their loved ones when they do pass, right? And what that does is it creates a gateway for that to now come back to you in probate, right? So now you're involved in now you're involved with their financial advisor, right? And it's not tricky. You're basically giving them a financial advisor that you know and trust, right? That you have background check that is up, that's great. So you're going to take that, you're going to have them go in, they're going to do their estate planning, you're going to be named as their agent upon their death. You're going to be able to speak to their family every once in a while if you have that type of connection with them. And that's how it ends up coming full circle. Probate is a very difficult, it's a very difficult time. And for me, I was always very uncomfortable with probate because I could never see coming into somebody's house while they're mourning their loved one, right? That was always my thing. And one of my mentors turned around and said to me, well, what's going to happen? Somebody's going to get that deal, right? Why not let it be you? And I said, because you know what? If I was mourning my father, my grandfather, anybody, I don't want somebody in my house trying to get my business, right? It's two totally different things. So if you reverse it and you make it different and you approach it when that person is alive, then you can it's easier to kind of set up, right? And again, it doesn't just have to be your client. You could do a mailing to a farm area and say that you're offering free estate planning consultations. You could do it as a seminar, right, with a financial advisor. And that can work both ways. Like they can also give you business on that they have, right? That's where I would tell you to try to see if you can concentrate on if that's what you want to get into.
okay. Thank you.
I
Can I
love
jump
that.
in real quick? I've never even thought of that ever. Even if estate selling wasn't my niche, what a great gift you're giving someone 1 year into purchasing their home. Like, Monday is the 1 year celebration of my father's passing, and I went through the whole probate with his house. We still, like, come January, February, got to make a decision with his home, right? But if I wasn't a realtor, I wouldn't know where to go, how to go, what to do. So I'm just saying, like, I would think that even if it wasn't my niche, that I'd want to connect with a financial advisor just to gift that to that person. And it is a way to stay consistent and in top of mind with them in case things happen. My next question, since this isn't really your niche, like, are they allowed to give out personal information? Like, if something happens, like a financial advisor and the death, and they like, and you're working with that person, they're like, oh, this person is fixing to lose their family member or did, it might be a great time to reach out. Are they allowed to do that?
So it would actually be in writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be in writing saying, upon my death, make sure you contact X, this so and so,
Yeah.
So,
right?
question,
This
MJ.
is
So,
the
is that one of the
person.
questions that the financial planner is going to ask them? Like, hey, what do you want to do with your asset? If the home is going to be sold, do you have a plan for that? If you're the one that referred them to that financial planner, they're probably going to say, well, yeah, MJ told me to reach out to you. Of course, I want MJ to be contacted first because I trust her. Like, I know she's going to do a great job, right? So, you're saying that's like part of their questionnaire, usually, right? That's part talking about the assets and what happens with the assets and listing you as their realtor
Yeah.
or
And
preferred realtor.
right, your preferred realtor. And the thing is that you don't have to know their personal information at that point, right? You just have to have enough trust in your financial advisor that you're working with to actually get that done for you.
When you're saying financial advisor, are you talking about, I would think that here that would be an estate attorney, like a estate planner. A financial advisor would be like how to invest your money here.
No, but
Like, if
the financial advisors actually will also do estate planning with them,
okay.
especially the larger ones, like the larger ones with UBS and like with Charles Schwab and stuff like that.
Okay.
They have a separate company that does that. They do insurance, they do financial planning, they do estate planning, they do all that for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Or they have the network. If they don't do it in house, they know other people in that industry, in that world that they
Right.
could put you in touch with. So great advice. Holly, I also just tagged you in a training I did 2 weeks ago called Scratch Your Niche, It'll Make You Rich. It's in our Facebook group, but I just tagged you in it. So go
Mhm.
watch that because it talks about there's homework assignments in there that will ask you probing questions to help you identify what your niche should be. So go check that out.
That's
Okay.
great.
I have
Thank
a question about when you niche down, and I think the scary thing about it, and it could just be a limiting mindset, is you are potentially losing business otherwhere or other places because you're niching down so hard. I want to know like what your success has been. Like, are you still getting business from other directions, even though your niche is commercial and luxury?
So I literally for the last I've had my license for 7.5 years. Probably 65% of my business has been through referral. And when I tell you that people don't care, like I've done deals at $400,000, without an issue. Like I said, the only thing I will not touch, if I know I'm not going to benefit somebody, I will refer it to somebody who can. I'm a very high D, I'm very high energy. If I come across a C, who literally jumps back every time I talk, then I'm going to refer them to somebody else. And yeah, and that's where my team came in. So like, imagine, I have my team. So, when I had my team, it was like most of my girls they were C's and D's. I mean, they were C's and S's. So for me, it was easy because I just had one of my team members take care of it.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't be afraid to niche down so heavy that you're going to miss business because even though you're telling people you're a relocation specialist, it doesn't mean that somebody down the street's not going to call you because that's where your niche is.
Maggie, that's
Right.
also
And
something we covered in that niche training too, is that's a common fear. We went over like the top 10 fears people have about niching
Mm-hmm.
down. It's common fear, common concern. And I do agree. It is probably more of a limiting mindset than anything because when you can say no to the things that don't serve you and serve you well, you free up your time for the yeses that will serve you and serve you well. And when you're more passionate about what you're doing because it's aligned with your purpose and with your style, with your energy, you're just more productive. You're more engaged. You're more consistent. Consistency is one of MJ's words, and you will be more consistent when you niche down in your business because it's aligned with who you are, your purpose, and your passion instead of just trying to be a jack of all trades, like she said. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what,
definitely.
Maggie, too, it also comes with education, right? So if you educate them on other things, right, then they're going to know that you have knowledge of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always throw in, a video. Yes, the majority of your stuff is going to be about relocation, but if you throw in a few here and there about different things that you know that you can handle, then they are going to make sure that they call you.
Mm-hmm.
And once you
I
get that
love it.
client that you serve super well, in your niche, they will refer everyone to you outside of that niche
Everyone.
because they won't even think of you as the relocation specialist. That may be how they found you. But
Mm-hmm.
once you do a really good job as a realtor, you will be the realtor they refer. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I love it. Thank you guys.
of course. Okay. Tony, close us out. What you got to say? I know you got something.
I just want to thank MJ wholeheartedly because there's been so many nuggets dropped today that I feel like a deer out in the woods just picking up acorns just left and right, and that's my redneck side coming out. But anyway, learning the lingo of commercial. Um, what would be um, what would be a system or a way of actually figuring that out, getting into that space and hearing and understanding what they're actually talking about. Is there a certification out there or a program that really speaks to that? And is there a way that we can access that and share with our people?
So the best thing that you could do, there's two things that I'm going to tell you. The first thing is to go on something like a Crexy or a LoopNet, right? They all have free versions and just kind of read the listing descriptions, familiarize yourself with the lingo there. That's going to be the basic stuff, right?
Mhm.
And then, there's a lot of the stuff is formulated, right? To get the numbers, you have formulas that you follow. So that can be something next that you want, if you want to start going into that, just let me know and I can guide you on that. But that'll be the first thing. The second thing is that if you can find somebody who, like if you can find a commercial broker who's maybe doing a seminar, not necessarily on teaching commercial real estate, but maybe they're presenting a property, right, to somebody. Kind of, talk to them and see what they're, and see if they're doing anything network wise, right? Just so you could sit on and listen to. The next thing is you can do a lot of drive-bys. If you see a commercial for sale sign, right? See if you can look up that property, go into the tax assessor website, see what the difference is between a commercial and a residential property. See how the assessed values are affected when it comes to that versus a residential. That's the best way for me to tell you to get started.
Thank you so much, MJ.
Of course.
Awesome. And I'm going to close it out actually by adding one more thing. Tony, thank you for that. MJ and I discussed possibly rescheduling this call because of schedule. And I said, no, I don't want to because I've only got 2 more weeks left in the year. I've only got 2 more spots, and then I'm not going to continue this next year. This was like a limited series. My Let's Level Up Friday. I'm not going to do it in 2026. I want to say, MJ, this call just changed my mind. I'm going to keep doing it
I'm so
because
glad.
because listen, I really started to feel like we're hearing a lot of the same things, right? It's like a lot of the same things, same things, same things. You have totally changed my opinion about that. And you just brought a new life into this whole call. So thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
because of you, we're going to keep this series going in 2026. So you guys put
I
this
would
on your
agree with that. This has been
yes.
really good. It's different from other ones, so it just goes to show you never know what you're gonna get. So keep
But it's
doing it.
not that the other people weren't brilliant and the calls weren't great. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that sometimes we can get into the mindset of everyone already knows everything. We're not going to hear anything new. This is all starting to sound like rinse and repeat stuff because a lot of it is rinse and repeat real estate, right? Consistency, time blocking, open houses, all the things that we know. But when we can get some very unique, high level ideas from someone to give us another like goosebump moment in our business, it's so powerful. And so sincerely thank you. You're brilliant. I appreciate you so much. Can't wait to learn more from you next year.
Thank you.
And definitely when you have the fine details of that commission catalyst program flushed out, send it to me and
I
I'll
will.
make sure to spread the news. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Yes. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. Okay. Bye,
Bye.
y'all. And next week, Ruth Valadez, another Florida agent. Am I saying her name right? Valadez?
Valdez, I think, yeah.
Valadez. She's going to be on next week, guys. So mark your calendar. Be here next Friday. See you. Bye.